Okay, 7th grade. Today you are practicing adding fractions and mixed numbers. And I know the top of the paper says adding and subtracting, but I took off the bottom 3 rows on each side. That way we could just practice on the adding ones today. So we did this on Friday, but just to review, remember the very first thing that you're going to do is to find a common denominator. Since 3 and 7 are not the same, we are going to make equivalent fractions. And the first thing that 3 and 7 go into is 21. So I'm going to make new denominators of 21. Now I have to think about how did I change each of my denominators. And to get to 21, I say 3 times 7. So I need to multiply the top and say 2 times 7, and that's 14. On the bottom down here, I say 7 times 3 to get to 21. So here I'm going to say 3 times 3, and that gives me 9. Now I just add my numerators, and 14 plus 9 is 23. So I end up with 23 over 21. Now, since my numerator, my top number, is bigger than the bottom, I need to change this into mixed number. So that means I drop the bottom into the box, so the 23 goes inside, and 21 goes into 23 one time, and there are 2 left over, so that's my remainder. So I'm going to put my remainder, the 2, over 21, which was my original denominator. So again, the only time that you do that is if this top number is larger than the bottom. And since 2 and 21 cannot be simplified any further, 1 and 2 21sts is my answer. Looking at another one, I have 4/5 plus 1/10. So a common denominator here would be that 5 and 10 both go into 10. And then 5 times 2 is 10, so 4 times 2 is 8. And since I didn't change the bottom here, I don't have to change the top. And I'm adding, and 8 plus 1 is 9, so I end up with 9/10. This time the top number is smaller than the bottom, so I don't need to change it, and it can't be simplified, so that one was easy. Okay, so on the other side we have mixed numbers, which we did not do on Friday, but it's the same thing, it just adds one more extra thing to it. So what we're going to do is first we're going to find a common denominator, and 3 and 2 both go into 6, so I'm going to change the denominators to 6. And on the first one, to change 2 to 6, I would say times 3. So I'm going to multiply the 1 times 3. So that top is 3. I'm having trouble getting there. There we go. And on the bottom, I would say 3 times 2 is 6. So I do 2 times 2 on top, and that would give me 4. Now I'm adding, so I'm going to say 3 plus 4, and that's 7. So I end up with 7/6. But I also need to add the whole numbers here. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and that's my whole number. However, the top number here is bigger than the bottom, so I'm going to fix this. I'm going to divide 6 into 7, so I drop the top into the box. 6 goes into 7 one time. There's 1 left over, and that 1 goes over my 6, which is what I started with. Now, since I had 5 already, I'm going to now add that to the 1 I have here. And so this actually equals 6 and 1/6. So basically I added all of my whole numbers together. So this one here, the 2 here, and the 3 here. So all together I end up with 6 and 1/6. So let's do one more of those, because that looks kind of messy. Alright, so this time I'm going to have a common denominator, 4 and 6. The first thing they both go into is 12. So I'm going to put 12 underneath both of them. And then to change 4 to 12, I say 4 times 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. And to change 6 to 12, I say times 2, so 5 times 2 is 10. Now adding those together, 9 plus 10, I get 19 over 12. Now I add my whole numbers, and 5 plus 2 is 7. Now again, my top number in my fraction is bigger than the bottom, 19 is bigger than 12, so I need to divide bottom into top. 12 goes into 19 one time, and there are 7 left over. So I put my leftover over 12, since that was my starting denominator right here. And now I need to add my 2 whole numbers together. So I add the 7 and the 1, and this equals then 8 and 7/12. And that is the final answer. Alright, that's it. Those are all the examples I have. I hope that is helpful. Your homework is to do both sides, all of the problems on both sides. There's some room at the bottom that you can do the work, or you can use a separate sheet of paper. Whatever works for you. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.